Good morning everyone, we are from group 7, the member is Syafa Alia Mufida, Agam Habibah Ramadan, and I'm Muhammad Fajar and also as the represent of the group. And in this subject, written and spoken English grammar, we are going to explain the material about ditransitive complementation. When we are talking about ditransitive complementation, we get the point that it's included into verb plus indirect object plus direct object. In other ways, we can say that ditransitive complementation refers to combination of direct and indirect object, and direct object and oblique complements. Some verbs are followed by an indirect and a direct object. An indirect object always has a direct object accompanying it. An indirect object, or we can say it IO, is the entity affected. The direct object or DO, the recipient or beneficiary of, like that. The indirect object comes before the direct object. The example is he gave me his number. Subject plus verb plus IO plus DO. We can say it. The subject is he, the verb is gave, indirect object is me. I'm sorry, it is typo. It should be me, and his number is DO or direct object. The next is verb used with indirect and plus direct object construction. The common verb which can be used is such as allow, ask, bring, charge, envy, make, label, etc. In this example, the direct object in green and indirect object is underlined. So we can say that the frog is being the verb, them is indirect object, and the direct object is some cakes. The next is indirect object and passive voice. Some verbs allow to passive voice alternative for active clause with indirect plus direct object. For example, the active is they gave the children present. And the passive alternative one, the children were given present. IO becomes subject. Indirect object is the children is being the subject. Then the passive alternative 2, present were given to the children. There comes subject. The direct object is present is being the subject. Verb which allow alternative passive include such as bring, give, hand, grant, leave, lend, etc. The next is about indirect object plus the clause as direct object. Some verbs occur with an indirect object underlined in the example plus the clause direct object. In green example, verb the indirect object is obligatory, such as assure, confidence, inform, notify, etc. The example is the bank manager convinced them that it was not a good time to start a business. So we can see that them which underline is indirect object, and that it was not a good time to start a business with the green color is direct object. And then a subjunctive verb from, such as advise, ask, order, promise, etc. The example is Kumara left a suicide note asking that he be buried with his most cherished possession. We can see that the both asking is being the verb or indirect object, and that he be buried with his most cherished possessions, which green color is being the direct object. Some verbs allow complementation with prepositional phrase such as acknowledge, prove, etc. He did not return to his seat but announced the General Assembly that he was very tired. That's the example. The next is about indirect object plus WH as direct object, such as advise, ask, inform, remind, show, and tell may be used with an indirect object or which underline, and WH clause as direct object in green. The example is I asked him why he came. Him is being the indirect object, and why he comes is WH as direct object. Advise, ask, instruct, remind, show, teach, tell, and warn may be followed by an indirect object in underline, and WH clause in the infinitive in green. The example is I will ask Anna what to wear. Anna is being the indirect object which underline, and what to wear with green color is WH clause in the infinitive in green color. Yeah. And the direct object plus prepositional phrase. The next content is the verb used with an object noun phrase and a prepositional phrase with two. The verbs are such as bring, over, serve, give, grant, pay, etc. The example is George handed the paddle to William. Not all verbs can be used with up to prepositional phrase, some followed by a noun phrase. This includes such as find, make, order, reserve, save, and spare. The example, her mother made me a lovely sweater. Other verbs have special preposition associated with them and are only used in the obligate construction, not with indirect and direct object. These verbs include accuse of, charge with, compare with, prefer from, thank for, and warn of. Example, the police charged him with dangerous driving. The next is about direct object plus to infinitive clause. Some verbs may be used with a direct object followed by a to infinitive clause. This verb include advise, ask, beg, challenge, etc. And the example, did they ever advise you to go and see a doctor? And the next is complex transitive complementation. Direct object plus object complements. Here is adjective. Many common verbs may be used with a direct object followed by an adjective phrase acting as object complements. This includes such as call, keep, consider, drive, declare, etc. The example, I must keep Dad's dinner warm. A direct object plus to infinitive clause. In the complex transitive complementation is divided into several parts. The part 1 is direct object plus object complements, and the second is direct object plus to infinitive. Here, a number of verbs may be used with a direct object followed by a to infinitive clause acting as the object complements. These verbs include low, believe, consider, expect, get, imagine, report, and think. And the third is about direct object plus infinitive clause without to. Verbs followed by direct object and an infinitive clause without to include, such as feel, have, help, let, make, see, watch. The example, I had him meant the fence for me. And the next part is direct object plus ing clause. Verb followed by a direct object and an in clause include such as catch, feel, find, get, have, leave, see. The example, I found her petting the baby, which was lovely. The next part is direct object plus ed clause. The following verb may occur with a direct object in the example plus ed clause, such as feel, get, have, like, need. Example, I keep meaning to get it fixed. And then we can see that get is being the verb and it is being the direct object plus fixed is ed clause. The direct object plus prepositional complements of time or place, or we can say it locative. Some verbs, especially verbs of placement and direction, take a direct object and a prepositional phrase locating the object in terms of time or place. Such as verbs include bring, drive, place, put, and take. The example, he took me to a club in Manchester. I think it has already done to discuss about the material, and see you next time. Thank you.